Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hero Homestead. It's me, Zach, again, and we have our little friend, Birdie Sanders, as I've been calling him. It's kind of hard to see him, but he's got the Bernie Sanders hair tufts going on his head, so he got aptly named Birdie Sanders. Um, yeah, little guy. I was going into our shop the other day, and I dropped my keys, which was funny because I usually never do stuff like that, and looked down where the keys landed, and there's this little baby bird sitting there. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Something else to take care of. So I've been nursing this guy for a couple of days now, which has been interesting because I don't know, new experience. But so if any of you got any tips on how to take care of a baby bird, that would be really helpful. Right now, it's just hand feeding him organic cat food and applesauce because so far on YouTube, that's all I found. Other than people saying, don't touch the baby bird that you find. I'm like, well, I don't know what to do because he's going to die. There's no nest. He wasn't near a tree or anything like that. And the only bird that does go in and out of the attic of the shop has not been seen for days, although the new 3 baby raccoons that live above the shop have been seen. So I'm guessing that's how that worked out, if you know what I mean. But anywho, it's just me and Birdie Sanders sitting here on the couch today because it seems that I have done something ridiculously dumb to some chest muscles here. So the other day, we were mowing the grass and getting everything cut down, and we had to dig a trench in the back area where the septic and leach field and all that stuff drains to, and that's fine, but now it's all marshy, and I was trying to knock it down and ended up burying the lawnmower in the mud. Yeah. So I thought, as my typical self, I can just move it, and it was heavy stuck, and then after some attempts and some frustration and some very muddy mess, as guys usually do, you get frustrated, say, you know what, I'm just going to handle this my way, and I ripped the lawnmower up out of the mud and picked it up off the ground and drug it to where I wanted to and then set it back down. This is a nice big riding lawnmower now. I'm not 20 years old anymore, and yeah, which means problems. And as it turns out, that damages muscles in your body, and it seems I may have damaged some chest muscles because I cannot actually look to the right. I cannot move quick at all. I can't do pretty much anything other than sit on this couch, and even getting up is a problem. I've noticed that was a very frightful thing. Was very close to going to the hospital, and I still might decide to go there in a little bit if this pain doesn't go away. I was, first thinking like, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack. I'm going to die, but I'm too young, so we'll see how this shakes out. So say a prayer on that. But between being forced to sit here on the couch when I've got 100 things to do outside and the weather's actually nice today, and then having to take care of Birdie Sanders here because he can't fly and take care of himself, it made me think of the idea of know your limits, because a lot of us don't. Not because we don't try to know them, we just choose not to. And I've been finding lately that aging is not something I enjoy, and I know that sounds stupid because we all do it, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're not young anymore, whatever. It's like a thing. No one ages well or gracefully. I gotta take these off. The reflections drive me nuts. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I know a lot of people have issues with aging and all that, but I don't mean it in a sense of like, ooh, I'm scared of mortality or anything, or it's the idea that you're not young anymore, and I hate that. I'm still capable. I fully expect to be well into my 80s and still be doing crazy stuff. I mean, here's what it is. I got to do it. It's what I do. But, yeah, I'm in my mid-30s. I should still be able to do pretty much everything I was doing through my teens and 20s and now my 30s. So the fact that I'm already starting to see some issues like that is crazy to me. But it goes back to show that, you got to put in your due diligence. You got to do your work. I mean, even like little Birdie Sanders here. Sorry, I don't know why he's ugly as all get, but I'm hoping he's going to be a very beautiful either mockingjay or bluebird based on his like feather patterns and stuff. He's doing okay. We feed him, like I said, the applesauce and cat food. He's about half feathered. He's still pretty pink under the wings and on his belly and stuff. So he's fairly young. Like I would say a week or less old when we found him, and that was a couple days ago. So, but back to my point, the know your limits thing. It's I don't know if it was his mama saved him by pushing him out and kicking him out of the barn, or if he just naturally tried to scoot around and do his own thing and fly away. And obviously he fell to the ground and didn't make it very far. And with me, it's like, oh, well, okay. I let my anger and frustration of my situation working outside get the better of me, and now I can't really get up off the couch. I can barely breathe without a whole heck of a lot of pain going on. That's scary and terrifying. I grew up with asthma and ailments, so I'm already kind of accustomed to the shortness of breath, but this is different. And for a person that was really getting into the groove of life of like, I'm building fences and I'm starting a homestead and I've got all these animals and different things I'm doing, and I'm really like working it by hand, which is awesome. But to get thrown back into this idea that I can't do anything, I can't go outside, really sucks. And I really only have myself to blame, I think, on this one. Like, just how many of you guys out there have, watched your dad and learned it yourself, and now anytime you're working on something, as soon as you get mad or something doesn't go right, it's let's start cursing it out and let's start yelling and throwing my tools and just slamming stuff around, and it's just like, screw it, screw it, screw it. I'm done with this crap. I am super guilty of this every second of every day I have to work out there. And I've had a lot of retrospect today, and I kind of think it's a God thing of, hey, I want you to sit down and think about things, because the last couple of days, you can ask Celia, I have been nuts. It's just like everything was a problem, everything wasn't working right, and it didn't make sense because, at a certain point, I get it. There are some things where if you run into a string of problems over and over and over to no fault of your own, you're going to get mad. And you're not going to want to deal with it or know how to really deal with it. And you're going to feel kind of defeated. And I was definitely in that place. I took a step further and was just so angry that I kind of lost my mind yesterday a little bit. And I just basically sat down, came in the house, slammed the door, sat down on the edge of the bed and was like, screw it, I'm done, quit. Nope, who cares? I'll sell everything and get rid of the animals and just screw it. And I sat there for a minute and was like, nope. And I lay back on the bed and was instantly passed out. Not usually how I am. And in the course of I took like an hour nap, and then Celia, she went to the store and come back and woke me up when she came in the house. And it was like I woke up refreshed, and I was like, wow, I kind of just need to chill out. And everything isn't really that bad. Like, it sucks, but you know what? It's my thing to deal with. I got to fix it. There ain't no one's coming to rescue me, to fix my tiller, to work in the yard, to put up these fences, to deal with the animals and stuff. If they were, that's their calling, and that's what they would be doing at their own place. I mean, he didn't fall into anybody else's lap. He fell into mine, which means he's my responsibility. And yeah, I could absolutely just say, well, I'll let nature take its course, and who cares? And that shows the kind of character. And I think that's part of life, of how people's character can be revealed in little ways, either to themselves or just to them around them, or just the world as it exists, how you react to things. But so with everything that's been going on with the frustrated stuff, I've been getting kind of worked up, and it's been frustrated. I've been wanting to answer of like, what is the deal? I was in such a great place of being able to do the work and go outside and get everything done. Like I said, in my younger years, growing up as a kid and everything, I was real sick, couldn't go outside, and it sucked. And now that I've gotten older and I'm really doing things, I'm full steam ahead. I'm never going back into the box, kind of a thing. So this, lots of trouble, lots of everything was making me mad. Now I'm stuck on the couch today because I can't really do much other than scream in pain. I mean, I'm not going to show you, obviously, because that would hurt, and I don't want to cry in front of all you people because that would not be pleasant. But it's made me sit and think about things, and it even started this morning at church where Pastor Dan was talking about, just a normal message. Like, yeah, it was great. President Trump opened all the churches, said, let's get them up and open, and Pastor Dan did not hesitate. He put things and got them ready and said, screw it, we'll do church even if there's only 2 people there. We've been doing it with nobody, just on live stream so far, so whatever. But there was quite a few people there, which was really refreshing and surprising because I was not looking forward to all the people. Sometimes I'm just like, it's been a lot better without you guys in here. No offense to anyone that comes to Waters of Mercy Church. You guys are all really awesome, really great, faithful people. But I don't know what it is. It must have been just the atmosphere of everyone being home with their families. To me, I think it's something God intended to do. How about you all reconnect and do it that way, and we'll take care of things here. And it gave some freedom in the church house, just for those that were there running the camera equipment and playing the music and giving the message, to kind of speak out a little bit, and there was some freedom there. But it definitely carried over to today, even with everyone back in there. Like, everyone was very lively and very excited to be there, which was amazing. Pastor Dan gave an awesome message. Celia played great music, and even their friend, I can't remember his last name, his first name's Frank. He's a pastor or preacher from Kentucky that's been friends with their family for years, but he came to visit, and he even got up and spoke for a while because Dan said, hey, you got something to say, so you should probably say it, especially since you drove all this way, which was great. But my point is, what I was hearing in his message was, a lot of people want to pray that God just takes everything away and just fixes it. And like, the example he used was like, I'll just sit back and you go prepare my house, God. You go prepare this thing, and then when it's ready, you just call me up and I'll come and claim it, and that's great. Go build your own house is what's been told. Like, you get given the things that you need to get it done. And if you don't have them, you can pray to God and say, either empower me, bless me with what I need, or bring what I need here, and then I'll get the work done if you don't already have it. But it's usually, when you're asked to do something, it's there or it's prepared for you that you can find the path to get to it, which is great. And that's how I felt a lot of this time, but I've let my frustration and the trouble of non-easy coastingness get in the way. And I'm not saying I want things to be easy. I'm not saying I just want to coast along. I'm saying, like, the expectation versus reality, which is one of the very first things we talked about together on here, wasn't lining up for me. And today at church, when I heard those things of go build your own house, it was like I very much got told, hey, work harder. You're not working hard enough. And I sat back and thought about it, like, you know what? I've been in this place of, I've done some work. Believe me, we've been, all of us here, me and Celia and Blake and the rest of the girls, have been working their butts off to fix up the house, clean it up, fix up the property, and get the whole farm and the homestead, everything started. Everyone's really been busting their butts to get it done. But for the last week or so, I've kind of slipped into that zone, which I think is pretty easy to slip into, of I've done a lot of work, that should be good enough. For the longest time, good enough is a phrase that I have hated, because it gets you to a level of mediocrity, and for me, unless it's perfect and exceptional and a way above bar, it's not good enough. So when people say, ain't good enough, I'm not a fan. But I feel like I've kind of slipped into things or let that kind of expectation happen, and then when things weren't working out, it was kind of building up on me, like too much of a mess in the tool shop, too much of a problem with all the birds, too much of a problem with the materials that I had available to me, or the tools I had available to me, and I was getting overwhelmed with it. It's like, you know what? They're still there. I went from, like, always struggling and worrying about money, and it was just by myself, and now I'm in a family of me, and, oh, I forgot to tell you guys, sorry, my fiance now, I asked Celia to marry me, she actually said yes. Yes, that was awesome. I'll do another video about that later, it'll be cute and fun and great, but surprise, now you know. Me, Celia, and 4 children, instead of just me by myself, so that's 6 people versus 1, and somehow I went from always worrying about finances to everything's always taken care of. And I don't mean like there's just miraculous money coming in or people paying my bills for me or stuff like that. It's just always, it always works out. And I've let this worry and stress bog me down, and I've missed the fact that everything's always there. I've been set to task on something. It was never going to be easy. It was never meant to be. I mean, I'm on a biblical thing today, I think, and even so, I'll stick with that. But going back to the very beginning in the book of Genesis, Adam, you are going to have to work and toil and sweat and bleed to tame the land around you. I'm fine with that, and that's where it's at. But I think I let the stress get to me of a lot of different things, and I let it get past where it was, and that's what caused all this problem. And through that frustration and losing sight of my goal and understanding that I should be appreciative that I have suddenly a whole shop worth of tools and experienced people around me and people that are eager to learn, even though they don't have a lot of experience, the kids don't. They're eager to just get out there and get their hands dirty and do it. And with Celia, it's stuff she's wanted to do forever and never really got a chance to, and now she's getting to, so it's just jump right in. And all I worry about is, "Oh, I can't do it fast enough," or I've got so much to do, and in a single day I can't accomplish it. So what? If it needs to get done in a day, it will, because it always has. I'm not a quitter. Celia's definitely not a quitter. None of the kids quit on me ever, which is great. So yeah, but it builds up and it builds up and it builds up. And when you lose sight of those things and you stop appreciating things, you get off of balance. And like I did, you forget your limitations and they can quickly be reminded to you. Like me, right here. I cannot describe the amount of pain that's right here. It's insane. But you get reminded, here's your limit of what you can do by yourself. When you're all alone, doing anything without help. There's help up there. Just saying. But when you do it by yourself, that's what happens. You hurt, you get broken, and you're usually stuck, which is exactly where I'm at right now, on this couch, in pain and broken. Stuck, pain, broken. Is not good. So, for all of you that are out there watching, I hope that you all can take some time daily to refocus yourself. That way you can wake up every single day, realign and focused, and know what task you have at hand and what you want to accomplish, and you're able to do it. And you don't get overwhelmed by the craziness of life, by the frustration of bad parts, bad machines, bad information, bad influence if it's not the right people around you, or bogged down by when all that stress hits you and then becomes anxiety and depression and bad all over. That's not good. And it snowballs and it tumbles, and before you know it, you can't move. That sucks. And then you get angry, then you end up hurting yourself. Or, and what I think is my case, I needed a quick reminder of, hey, I'm kind of getting off of my path and my point. And if you don't want to lose sight of all of it and have it all get busted up and destroyed by my own doing, I need to refocus. So here I am. I need to be slowed down. So did Mr. Birdie Sanders. He looks so weird, man. Truly, that's the only reason we named him that. He's got those tufts of hair. He's just an odd guy, but he's giving me purpose, which I think is a comfort, and I think that's why he's here. I don't believe in coincidence. I think everything happens for a reason and is orchestrated in a way. I think we have choice, and that determines who you are as a person and the character you exhibit to those around you. That's for sure. But, so, I think I was on a path of problems and destruction, and I could have made things a lot worse in my life if I wasn't careful. Because when you get mad and angry at everything else, you start putting it on the people, and that's not good. You don't want to fight with your family all the time. That sucks. It creates a whole another issue of problems. But I think God knew where I was heading today, well, this past week or so, and decided I needed a break. But before that, he knew I was also going to need purpose, and he brought this little dude into my life. That way, even though I'm going nuts sitting on this couch, not able to do anything, I can still do something. I have purpose. And I made a choice to not let him die, to take care of him. Because, hey, who knows? Birds like him keep away chicken hawks. That's something Celia was telling me today. I had no idea about that when I decided to take care of him, but if I try to connect the dots and I try to see the pattern, I think it's a fun little thing I do, and I'm thinking like, well, maybe Birdie Sanders had to come into my life a couple days ago. That way I could decide what I was going to do. And then it's like, okay, if I make the right choice, then when I start having all this pain and problems that I cause for myself, he'll be there to help me feel comfort as well as have a purpose to take care of him. And then because I do all those things right and I get back on track, when Birdie Sanders is all grown up, he'll be out in the yard flying around. And when the chicken hawks come to try to eat all our hens that lay our eggs and are going to be our meat chickens, and the rabbits when they get outside, he'll be able to go out there and keep the chicken hawk away, because that's what they do. They dive bomb them from above. It's crazy. Look it up. I don't know. Celia told me. I don't know the exact breed of bird, but you'll figure it out on your own. It's your homework. Anywho, all I'm saying is know your limits, because we have them as a person. Don't like to admit it. Not myself, and I know countless people that are just like me out there. We don't want to admit we have a limit at all. I think it was one of the Batman movies when Alfred tried to tell Batman, "Know your limits, sir," and he said, "I can't afford to know them." And you know what happened by the end of that movie? He lost everything, and that sucks because I really like Batman. But the lesson's right there again. Know your limits. If you do it alone, I can do this. I can manhandle it. Screw it. Don't need help. Generally, I get hurt, something's broken, or I end up stuck. And before all that, when I was staying focused, and in my case, I mean, I hope it's your case, but in my case, I was staying very connected to God and very much utilizing and using that relationship. Not saying I disconnected myself, but I stopped honing on it. It was it's almost like a beacon or a wave you can put out there. I don't know. Some of you might think I'm crazy. Some of you might be out there going, yes, I know what you mean. It makes a difference. And I was getting kind of crazy because I was letting the frustration instead of the joy and happiness that can come from even working on broken things get the best of me. So, know your limits so you don't end up stuck in pain or hurt. And even if you do, remember, there's always a way back. God will always take care of you. Even if it's with this ugly little guy that's freezing to death on my lap. Yep. So, I wish you all the best. I miss you all. I have another thing. So I have a couple videos coming. I'll have a video with me and Celia talking about us getting engaged because that was a heck of a lot of fun. Scariest thing I ever did. My chest was pounding that day. Oh my goodness. I told her after when we were walking back to her car, I took her to a waterfall, her favorite place. Yeah, it's awesome. I was surprised. She's like, I was about to actually ask you, why is your heart pounding so much? Because I was kind of holding her and hugging. We were talking. And, yeah, so that's why. So that was crazy. But another video I have as well is I got a new gun, and it's exciting. One I've been wanting for a very long time, semi-automatic AR-12 gauge. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. I was going to do the video the last couple days, but we've been so busy, and now that I'm hurt, I can't even pick the stupid thing up. It's not that it's heavy. It's just I can't really move my left arm away from my body, and I can't really rotate to the right at all either, so that's an issue. Anywho, that's where I'm at, but look forward to those. And, yeah, until then, I'll be here reflecting and getting my mind right and taking care of the weak and innocent. Even if he has a name that I don't like, but that's his name. Because we take care of everyone, we do the right thing all the time, and we always make sure we are right here and here and here. Because that's what heroes do.